Hey
No.
Emmett,
Yeah.
what's the date today?
April 16th.
But what if it was 9/11?
What if it was 9/11? Wow.
It's 9/11.
That is a great
That's
way.
so great.
I'm so proud. I can't believe that is how we start. Welcome back to
That's
Oh,
Something
not how we
Objectively
start.
Stupid. We're starting like this. There's no other way. I'm not doing any editing on this episode. We're starting. Welcome back to Something Objectively Stupid. Aiden Canis has wrote the episode, and today we are doing conspiracy theories. I almost forgot what they were called. So let's jump right in
That
with
we sort of believe them, like
a
there's
little
some,
bit.
except for we do not believe these at all. Do not come for me. We don't believe these.
I'll come
These
for
are
you.
just facts out, like the fake facts on the internet.
it's true.
So let's start off with the famous, tried and true 9/11 inside job. What do we all
So
think?
at the very beginning, we gotta think, why would it be faked, right? Like, why fake something like that?
I have an answer for that. Why
Hmm.
fake something so big and like monstrous? For the large amounts of loss that you have, you also get a lot of people who rally together on a single idea, which pushed America's motives to invade. Where did they invade again? Was it Iran?
Iraq, Iran.
Iraq.
Iraq. Yeah, so it pushed their
I
motives
don't even think they know
even
anymore.
further and gave people the more support for America to just push into it. So there could have been that backing it.
Hmm.
Good
That
point.
that's that's a point to make, but also you are murdering thousands to make that point. Would the
Yeah.
U.S. government do that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes.
So reading up on the article that I had posted, the biggest thing to say, like Joey's point is also on there, but one of the biggest things that they say that the 9/11 was an inside job is that jet fuel could not melt the steel beams that built the Trade Center towers.
That is like the bit that goes around. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
but
jet fuel can't melt steel beams, and it is proven that it can't. But it's if they're structurally weakened, they don't really need to be melted, do they?
so the counter argument to that, or not the counter, the supporting idea is that the bombs were planted in the Trade Center beforehand.
And
Hmm.
I have an objection to this. I have an objection to this because I don't believe any debris was found for any of this. And if you're referencing thermite as a debris, thermite does not melt supports. It just continues to burn. It won't take out any support in any way like that. And the other point that I was going to make is yeah, fire doesn't usually take out the support of this building. Problem is where the plane hit. It took
Hmm.
out two massive structural supports, meaning all of the weight was now placed on the outer rings of where the support was, allowing it to crumple over time. And where firefighters couldn't get to it, they couldn't put the fire out in time, meaning then structural damage started to happen and it was a chain event.
Hmm. Hmm. But also, like with the videos and photos that we see of 9/11 happening, that object doesn't look like a plane,
But
right? Like it looks a little weird.
What do you
no.
mean by
Like
that? What do you mean
Yeah,
by
I,
that?
no, it doesn't. That's very clearly a
in the
plane.
videos and stuff that we see of 9/11, the ones that I've seen at least, it looks like it's almost like clipping in and out, and that like the windows on the side aren't there. From
Really?
what I've seen,
I
I haven't seen windows on the side of the
Hmm.
plane. I could be completely wrong here,
Chat,
but
pull
from
up
I've
what
some
seen
I've
windows on the
9/11
seen,
side of the
video.
plane.
Chat, pull
yeah,
up
let's pull up
9/11 video. 9/11
9/11
video.
Put it in the chat. Put it in
Putting
the
it in the
Someone
chat.
chat.
stream it. Like it's hard to tell because it is 2001 footage. Like that's a plane, sure, but like could it just be made to look like a plane? Like is that
That's a
like
plane.
there's barely any.
No,
That's
that's
the
a plane.
second one.
That's a
Yeah,
plane.
that's the second one heading in. I think that's a plane.
That's not a plane. That woman on screen is
That's
not a
that's not
plane.
a
I can
plane.
see why
That's
you
not a
think that.
That's
plane.
a woman.
So
That's
again,
a
I
I
don't
woman.
think we include this portion. That's really rude.
oh, that was almost a good clip.
Don't say.
Guys, clip it.
Yeah.
Again, okay, there's nothing there. I would like to
Such a
agree with
tragedy,
Joey
though.
is that the only thing that I would like the only thing that makes me kind of believe that it was an inside job was the war on Iraq. I think that it very clearly pushed uh
Mhm.
terrorism. Again, is that true? I don't really think so. I don't think any sane human being would just kill off thousands and thousands of people to start a war. You know what I mean? Like it, and I don't think
Mhm.
America would do that to their own people. I just don't. I just don't believe that.
There
Yeah.
is also the thought behind in those floors that got hit by the planes is where the U.S. government had a lot of debt stored, like the physical files for where they owed a lot of shit. Those all got burned. They like billions of dollars in debt just disappeared through that attack because they couldn't trace it back anymore. All the files were stored there.
True.
That is, yeah, that is
Why would you
another
store your
point.
So
files of
they
debt
killed a
there?
they killed a couple thousand people for billions of dollars in debt to be erased and to start a war where they could then get billions of dollars back.
If I
Yeah.
was
I'm gonna.
going to commit insurance fraud, I'd have to make it believable. And in
Mhm.
doing so, I would need to kill thousands of people.
Exactly.
Like if I can't just go and burn down my house because the insurance company is going to be like a little suspicious. So I kind of
Yeah, there's a fireplace there.
yeah, that's a old reference. I think I think that line of thinking makes sense, but there's just not enough evidence to support it. There's not enough evidence for me to wrap my wrangle around it. Like I think this is just a it was
Mhm.
just an attack on the
There's
trade center, I think.
there are also people who are still suffering from this as well. So
Yeah.
maybe we should move on.
Check
Well,
my
I
watch.
wanted to bring up one more point before I went. First off, absolute terrible tragedy. Like, my heart goes out to those people who are involved in these attacks. It was an absolute terrible thing to happen. We are just making a podcast. We're three white idiots on here talking about conspiracy theories. But heart goes out to you guys, not in the weird Elon way. But
So the
yeah,
next one we got
It's
on
a
the list.
Roman salute.
The Roman salute.
it's a Romans.
Next one
I'm
I
not even
got.
gonna do it on the pod. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't either. Aiden. um.
Almost.
Next one we got on the list is a tried and true classic, the moon landing. Was it fake? Was it real? I personally know someone who does think it is fake.
Me
And
as well. I met someone on the job who was like, we're talking about how like, oh, they're going back to the moon, and the first time in like 50 years. That's really cool. He's like, you mean the first time? I'm like, no, they're going back. And I had talked to him. I am a true believer that the moon landing was real. Is that same with you, Joey and Emmett?
I'm a firm believer of it's real, and I've got a couple debunking theories for the flag bullshit.
I
So
think the
Mm-hmm.
biggest one is the flag bullshit. I also believe that it was real because the guy I spoke to where he said that it wasn't real, he said that it was Stanley Kubrick who proved in a 2001 Space Odyssey that you could make very lifelike space sets and film it really well. He also said Bluetooth technology didn't exist when we sent people to the moon, so how did they get the footage back to Earth? That was another one. And at the time we were in family vacation. So at the time I was just like, yeah, I didn't want to start any fights. I was like, yeah, that's a little weird. That's a little suspicious. That doesn't make any sense. Bluetooth technology didn't exist.
Dude, how did they get the footage back? Like,
Oh
there's no
my
way they could have.
god.
How'd they even get the camera there in the first place? It doesn't
He,
make sense. They needed to Bluetooth that bitch over. They didn't have
he
smartphones.
also said that in the prior to the launch to the moon, there was that spaceship that blew up with us 3 people inside that died. He said that
Mm.
the American government executed them for trying to out the real truth about the moon landing. Again, like launching, spending millions and millions of taxpayer dollars to be like, can't let the world know about the moon landing being fake. Gotta kill only these 3 people. Because only these 3 people are gonna say that the moon landing is fake. No one else in the world. Like, that doesn't. If one person's gonna say it's fake, thousands of others will. It's not just a group of 3.
Mm.
That's ridiculous.
Mm.
imagine you're going up on the fucking ship. You're like, prepare for blast off. They're up in there for like maybe 30 seconds. Hey guys, when we get back down, we should really tell the public the moon landing's fake. And then-
Again, big
Yeah.
tragedy. We should not be joking about this.
Mm.
But that it just doesn't make any sense. There's
It
no
doesn't
there's
make any
no
sense.
straight thinking in that.
The grounding behind the theory is that the Americans lost every other stage of the race to the moon. They didn't like. I mean, Russians beat us the first person in orbit, first all this first successful rocket launch. They beat us to everything except for the actual landing on the moon because they were playing it honest to God, safer than the Americans. So Americans were just like, fuck it, let's just go. We got the math figured out. We don't need to make someone survive around. They already proved that they could. So the reason why people think it's fake is because the Russians were so much farther ahead that Americans were like, we need a win here. We need to win the Cold War. Let's just lie. But the thing is, with the technology they had at the time, 1969, with the photos that have been taken on the moon landing site, the shadows are parallel to each other. Now, Emmett, you know a lot about lighting, right?
Yes, sir.
For filming and all that. How difficult is it to make the lines parallel, like shadow lines parallel, when
You
you
would
have
have to
when you're
have
filming?
a really, really strong light, or many, many less strong lights, far, far away.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to do if you have the time and the budget. Again,
Nowadays.
I would assume back then as well. Like the inverse square law, if you want
Mm-mm.
harder shadows, the
Mm-mm.
closer the light has to be.
Right, but to make sure that they are 100% not parallel, the light would have to be so far away and so strong that it wouldn't be able to exist back then because it
Not
would be molting shit.
necessarily. The math just had to be really, really on point, and lights had to be set to the millimeter. So the parallel lines, like if you're gonna try and fight someone who's fake, who's like the moon landing was fake, the lines are parallel doesn't really mean anything. I would have to agree with that line of thinking. The lines being parallel could have been set up, but that still doesn't mean that the moon landing was fake. It really
It
doesn't.
would have costed at that time because LCDs didn't exist, so you couldn't get the
LCD what?
the LCD LED LED
Okay, I was
lights.
like, what?
LED
Yeah,
lights weren't around yet. The only LEDs they had were tiny red lasers.
you could still
So
get whatchamacallit, like I forget what they're normal lights. Normal lights would do the job.
yeah, they wouldn't.
I've been to film school. They would. I went there.
They would. It would just take a lot of time, a lot of effort. Emmett's not
It'd
saying that
be
it's like a
All right,
convincing
all right.
argument. He's saying that it could
it'd be
possibly
easier to shoot
happen.
on location
Oh, here
than
On
we
to
the
do
go.
that
moon?
shit.
Grabbing the light
Okay, so
fixture.
this light, you can see
Yes.
how the shadows are nice and soft, right? Like my shadows are nice and soft.
Yeah.
That's because I've got this wonderful
Shadow
diffuser.
relax.
Okay, unplug my headphones so I can't hear you at all. How do I do this? So see my wall behind me. Let's do this real quick. Let's do this real quick. All right.
I
See
like
my
the
wall
sound.
behind me. This is a normal light. You see that shadow? Right? How do I do this? Come on. Come on. Okay. Ugh. I can't make a shadow. But look, closer I get to the light, the worse it gets. The further back I go, the stronger my shadow gets against the door.
You're
And
so
again,
right.
the reason
Right.
that it's not working too well is because I have this. I could take everything apart, but I'm not going to do that. Anyways, I went to film school. I know what I'm talking about. I did this for 2 years. Inverse square law, math, science, history. It's all unraveling the mystery. And it all started with the Big Bang. Let's add this one here. It wasn't on the list.
Nice.
Big Bang Theory. Are we Christians or nah?
Well, the Big Bang Theory isn't a conspiracy theory. It's just proven.
Yikes. This guy hates God and hates Jesus.
If God was real, he'd smite me down right now.
God is real because I prayed for a bigger schlong and it happened overnight. I should go to the doctor.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No.
Why is there this big red bite mark on it too? Weird.
Some people are true Big Bang and evolution haters.
Deniers.
Deniers. I think haters is the better word because it's really hard to deny. They're just haters.
Yeah, some people don't want being taught in classrooms and all that.
That comes from my favorite topic, religion.
Conspiracy theory, religion.
No, religion is not a conspiracy theory. Religion is healthy,
do think it
normal,
is.
and good.
I'd have to disagree with you there. I think religion's a very big conspiracy theory. Religion has changed over the years by a many drastic amount of times. When it was originally believed, and don't cite me on this, I don't know what I'm talking about. But when religion was originally like becoming a thing, they had it
Well,
in
which
one
religion?
area.
There were many religions that
I
were.
believe it was Catholic Christian. When it was first starting out, it was like here's this area. We have our God, and our God is central to our area. This is our God. We believe in the other ones, but like that they exist. We have ours, and it's only in our area. The moment they had to flee that area, they went, that shit don't work no more. Our
Brother
God's
in
everywhere.
Christ.
One of the 10 Commandments says that
What are
you
you
can't have
saying?
other. You can't
Yeah.
believe in other. Like obviously, someone's never read the story of Moses. You have never read the Old Testament. You're not a Catholic.
And
Maybe
or-
the
it's not.
story of
Maybe it's
Moses
not.
is from
Maybe
the
it's not
Torah, so it's
Catholicism.
before Catholicism. So
Yeah, it
I
was
think you're just wrong
Judaism.
about that. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong on this, but there was a very insightful video that I was watching somewhere talking about it. But I think religion's a very big hoax. I don't think it's real. I don't think anything to do with religion is not real in
I
any
think
way.
religion is very important to a lot of people, and I don't think ever disproving it is a good thing, because I feel like any religion to any single person can help a lot of people
True.
when they're stuck in their ways.
I would like to change my argument here because that's not actually what I truly believe. What I do truly, and you clicked it back
Backpedal.
into my head.
Talk about a
Let me
backpedal.
backpedal here.
Let me backpedal here. So, I have this conversation quite often with my family because someone in my family has become super religious as of late. And so they had to be told, you gotta stop pushing your religion on people. And they went, oh, yeah, you're right. No, that's fair. This person never goes to church. A very, like, super religious person never goes to church. And I fully agree with it. And I asked them about it, and they said, oh yeah, no, the church is just predatory. Like just stupidly predatory. Nowhere in the Bible or nowhere in any writing scriptures does it say you have to go somewhere with a bunch of people and pray. They're just doing it for money. They're just being
Yeah.
backed for the money of it. You can worship on your own. God will accept you just as much. If people want to do that, and sure, go ahead, but like it's just predatory.
I think churches began as a good thing to give people a place to gather to pray together. However, more it's evolved into more of a because it was just supposed to get you to be to a place where you can hear the word of God together as a community, and that's what the church is. It's the community of people.
Community.
Community.
Just like
But
episode 1.
so church, like going to the actual building itself, is good. But yeah, you're right. Nowhere in it says like on the Sunday you should rest, and usually people say like that's the day you praise God, and the easiest way for a lot of people to do that is just to go to church. So I wouldn't say that it's like useless, because like you are
No.
correct, and nowhere in the Bible does it say to not go to church. But I do think like you shouldn't say someone's a bad religious person because they don't go to church.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should be told that they're a bad person. And if you guys want to believe in religion and everything like that, I'm not stopping you and I'm not going, your religion's wrong or anything like that. It's just that I don't believe it.
I spoke with my mom about religion. Jessica and I, we went on a trip with my mom recently. We were at the airport, and she asked us about being like religious. And Jessica and I are both like, no, we don't believe in any religion. And we had a good conversation about it. Basically, she settled on like, what do you believe in when someone you love dies? Like, where do they go? Because her mom died when at a young age, and she what helped her get through it was Catholic beliefs. Like, she's going somewhere better. She'll be able to watch down on us. Like, she's not truly gone. I think that line of thinking is it healthy? I'm not sure, but does it help people? I like you guys said it earlier. Does it help people get through tough times? Yes, it definitely does. And I'm a firm I agree with Aiden on this. Religion is meant to be good. It was created for good. It's just it's used for bad a lot.
Yes.
It's
Yes, it is.
it's a shame about what happened. The things we love will learn to destroy us, and the things we hate will learn to destroy us. I think that's the two different opposing things. Two psychologists. Long
Everything's
story short,
destroying us.
one psychologist says the things we love will destroy us: sex, drugs, money, stuff like that. And the other guy says the things we hate will destroy us: war, killing, all that.
I saw that meme on Instagram.
Yeah, I
today.
saw that too. It was awesome. That's why I'm saying it. It's in my brain. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then I saw Invincible. Ready for a big ass beatdown.
No,
Stand
I'd like to switch gears here, like a car,
ready.
and talk about the Allen Meyer assassination. So this is an air quotes assassination. This is the man who made the first water-powered car.
Ah.
So you might more recognize it from that, but Stanley Allen Meyer was the guy's name. So he created one of the more commonly accepted water fuel cells that could be modded into a gasoline car. Now, the math, he said the math supported that it would be free energy. That is incorrect. There's no way about it that that's just incorrect, because to get a car to go off water, you need to separate the hydrogen from the H2O. You need to get the hydrogen out and combust that. So he was basically saying, like, you can convert a regular gas car into a water car by just doing a quick little change and all that. Now, I don't know much about cars, but I do believe hydrogen is a combustible gas, and I do believe that you could run a vehicle off it. Do I think that it would be as efficient? No. But with electrolysis taking place, you need basically to another car battery just separately, completely running your car, and your car could never create enough power to then perform electrolysis and be able to take some to keep moving,
Electric
right?
cars run on hydrogen.
Yeah, it just hydrogen alone,
Electric
not
cars
water
run
though.
on electric.
Yeah,
They do
but
run
they
on
use
electric.
electricity to
Hydrogen
turn.
powered cars exist.
Yeah, the hydrogen power motors exist, but using a fuel cell to convert hydrogen to electricity power into an electric motor.
But they need to stop, plug in, charge
Yes, they
to do
need the
that, right?
charge
So they're
to.
adding they're
Mhm.
adding in
Yes.
electricity.
Mhm.
So the thing is, he was proposing that this would take care of all of that, which is impossible because of the third law of the universe, where you can't get more than you give in, right? That's why perpetual motion isn't real.
Yeah, perpetual
If you are
motion.
using energy to separate hydrogen from oxygen, you cannot get more out of the hydrogen than it would take to separate it. Otherwise, the universe would not work.
Yeah,
So that
there is
part
no
was a
such
bit of a
thing as
lie.
infinite energy. That's settled. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as infinite energy. It's just impossible.
What if there is? What if there is such thing as infinite energy and it's just purely that we haven't found it yet?
Could be.
Why is this
That's
like a
possible,
law?
because it could,
Why is
like,
this
we did
universal?
just discover another fifth state of matter. There's a lot of stuff we don't understand yet. So it
Mhm.
could be eventually possible, but probably not in our lifetime. But
With
anyway, I
yeah,
definitely don't think Stanley Meyer figured it out in the great year of 1998.
I'm reading here that there
So,
was a big lawsuit that happened.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he convinced two investors to give him $25,000 each in the year
Mhm.
1940. That's a that's
Mm.
that's a ton of money. That's a ridiculous
That's a
amount of
ton of
money.
fucking money.
It's a ton of money. And when they asked for like to see it working, he couldn't produce a real example, or at least according to the Wikipedia article, because maybe he did. And so
Yeah.
he
They got
died
covered up, you know?
suddenly on March 20th, 1998. Okay, the
And the way
lawsuit.
he died, no, the way he died, he was eating dinner, and he looked up, said to the people sitting across from him at a diner, because he was eating with his investors, said, "I've been poisoned." Ran outside and choked to death.
What?
Yeah,
I've been
Hi.
poisoned, guys.
Okay. Franklin
basically,
County.
that's what happened.
Franklin County ruled that Meyer, who had high blood pressure, died from a cerebral aneurysm.
Yeah.
Okay, mind
So,
you,
do you believe this? Do you
he
think he was assassinated? Is basically where I'm getting at with all this. Because if you gotta think about it, even if his proposed idea was not possible in the way he was saying, a water power car in a billion, if not $1 trillion industry, something that could completely throw away your ways of living, is dangerous as hell.
yeah,
Because it's
Yeah.
not electric. It's not. You could fill it up with a garden hose. That destroys everything for
the oil
vehicles.
industry hates this man.
Especially since what is it? Shell controls how much of America just with how much profit that they produce.
Yeah, yeah. So when you think about it that way, and you could convert it because you just put a spark plug into the water in the like, little combustion, so you could convert old vehicles to it eventually. Take a bit of effort. Basically, there's no new vehicles that need to be made for this to work. It's just a small conversion kit, basically.
When
Mhm.
did he
Is what he was
invent it?
proposing.
So he invented it what year? Because he was born in 1940 and he died in
Uh,
98, correct?
so the first patent that he ever had
Yeah,
was
what?
1990.
Okay, so he had 8 years. Like, that's a long time.
Yeah, but
Eight
when you're
years
changing
to.
the future,
Yeah, but you have 8 years to just prove that it works. And he couldn't. The court even ruled it as fraudulent 2 years before his death.
Right. But he was also like the day he was assassinated when he was meeting with the investors. He was saying that day he was able to prove it. Which I mean, you've been having 8 years to prove it, and now you say, "Oh, guys, trust me, I can prove it this time. It's real."
I have a
It
feeling
sounds a
he
little
said that a lot.
fishy.
Yeah, I have a feeling he said that a lot. Okay, guys, this time it works. Like
Okay,
it's
but I kind of believe this one because you gotta think, what does the oil company gain from killing this guy? A fucking lot, right?
so the patents are now and his inventions are now public domain. Like we can see them on this Wikipedia article. What do we think
Yes.
of those? Are those fake? Like those aren't actually his real designs?
See, I can't tell because I don't know what his original patents would look like, and I'm not too well versed into all this stuff to truly say if the patents are real or not. However, I do know that a fuel cell would, if you run electricity through water, hydrogen gets produced. I know that, so I know that it has some factual stuff to it.
Okay, so again, reading here on his death, the Belgian investors that he was meeting with that day stated they had been supporting Meyer financially for several years. So
Yeah.
this wasn't the first time they've met, and this isn't the first time that he said, "Guys, this is gonna work." So he said that
Mhm.
they considered him to be a personal friend, and they have no idea where the rumors came from. The
Mhm.
rumors could mean anything. The rumors could
Yeah.
mean anything. The rumors about the thing
Yeah.
not working, or the rumors about his death. We don't know.
Yeah. So Meyer's supporter believed that he was assassinated to suppress his inventions, because his supporters believed that he was gonna do it. But I mean, even if there's no factual ground to it, you gotta think someone's poking around trying to dethrone an entire billion-dollar organization. You're gonna like, you're gonna fucking take him out.
Is that not what the hydrogen engine is doing now, though? Like diesel fuel is.
No.
I thought that a hydrogen
Uh,
engine was gonna remove diesel fuel entirely.
It can,
uh,
and it's still being produced because it's widely accepted, unlike the water one.
mhm.
I think
Yes.
that the
So
hydrogen
the
engine,
hydrogen,
yeah.
the difference is the hydrogen is still something being sold to you, right? It's like I know we pay our water bill, but the difference between this, it's saying like the hydrogen gets given to you. You kind of have to like buy it, and it's very expensive. For
Yep.
the water car, it's basically you take your garden hose and fill up your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you set up a rain bin outside and you get infinite gas.
Basically,
Or at least here in
which
North
Sure.
that's
America. It
why.
doesn't it's some places some people live in
Mhm.
deserts.
And the thing is
That would
too,
be
you could set
devastating.
up a hydrogen conversion center probably at your house. You just run some water through it. But the thing is that like they're not doing that, right?
That would be
Because if you're running
devastating,
off
man.
hydrogen, you can get hydrogen out of water, right? So you could fill up your car battery
So
with water technically, but they're not making that publicly available.
hydrogen fuel is much more efficient than gasoline, but also 4 times as expensive. Roughly
Yes.
16 Canadian dollars per gallon. See,
Hmm.
that's rough. That's where they get you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Water, in theory, is free. It's at least free for us. It's free
Mhm.
for us.
Yes. So you need the water, and then you need the electricity to run through it. And I've seen home conversion kits to do this. Like the King of Random has an amazing video on this, where he actually did it. He made like a plate. He separated water from hydrogen using like an old car battery, and that was it. Now, uh, should you do that? Probably not,
I think I'm still
You
on the
might do it.
because
fence about this. Like
it's also very combustible.
with something so groundbreaking, why didn't he ever produce a working model?
Okay, that's fair. But
Like
again, I'm not debating if what he was doing was possible or not. I'm debating if people would have killed him for it.
I would imagine that they probably would. Like same with the cure for cancer thing. Just kill anyone
Mhm.
who knows. They made a show on that. Joey, where did you go?
Joy, where'd you go?
My camera stopped working.
Nocturne
Yes,
old. You
Nocturne
got hit
old.
with that Nocturne
Um,
old.
audio listeners, love you to death. Joey has died. To death. Joey has
Well,
died to death.
listeners
I'm
in general, we
poisoned.
love you to death.
I love people who listen to me. Listen to me more. Why don't you? Um. All right. Changing gears a little bit. Let's go to a more widely accepted one, because the water fuel cell I feel like isn't as widely accepted. Again, I'm still on the fence.
No, it's not. It's not widely accepted because you are right. Like he didn't have any proof technically that he could do it,
Other
and
than
he ran out
shitty
saying I've been
designs,
poisoned.
he had shitty
Yeah.
he had shitty mock sketches that are public domain and you can see, and people look at them and you can say that just won't work. Like the water car is something I would have drew in 4th grade after watching the Flintstoner on Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs. Be like, yeah, I could do that. You know, that's what it feels like.
Okay.
Changing gears a little bit, let's go to a more widely accepted one: UFO conspiracy theories. Let's go through the number
that-
one. Aliens
NASA confirmed
invented
them.
the pyramids. They built the pyramids. What do we think?
That
they
one's
do.
widely known. It's not real, dude. Come
No,
on.
it's History Channel would tell you that's not right. History Channel says aliens did it.
Everyone always says like, how did they build it? How do they do it? I'm starting to think that they built it from like the ground up because starting the other way would be like really difficult.
What?
True.
You mean like starting from the
They prob-
top?
From the top.
Yeah, they probably
Yo,
started
hold
from
on,
the
what?
ground and built up. Any other way would have been really difficult. So I think that's how they did it. But no,
Let's say.
there's been so many things disproving it, like the sleds, how they would move it, how they would cut it using the sand tools, the granite, the copper tools that they had to cut through the granite, the quarry mines that have been excavated nearby,
Yeah, like
and like it's right by the Nile where they could float it down.
do
And
do people not realize that these pyramids weren't built in like a weekend? Like they spent
Yeah.
lifetimes on it. They spent multiple lifetimes.
Cleopatra, one of the more widely known pharaohs, was alive closer to the iPhone than the pyramids being started construction.
Yeah.
And she's one of the most widely known. So that's how long that civilization has been around for in general, and how long they had time to do shit. Now, people would also bring up like, oh, the accuracy and all that stuff, and like when you like they're all along the same coordinate. Like that's like okay, but like
Are they?
why?
Are the pyramids all along? Are
Not the pyramids, but there's a bunch of structures around the Earth where they kind of line up. But it's also like to that line of thinking, there's a Denny's in America that also lines up with that latitude. So was that made by aliens as well?
I fucking love Denny's.
I think so.
Yeah, I love Denny's. So there's a good chance.
There was also there's another theory saying like, oh, because everything kind of like the measurements all kind of add up to like pi. So the Egyptians figured out pi and all that. How could they do that with the knowledge they had? And then I just thought like they could probably just used a circle for measuring. So
No, that's true.
I really don't think that the pyramids being built by aliens has any legs to stand on. It's same with the moon landing. It's one of those like easily debunkable. Because
yeah.
like we
there's-
built Bass Pro Shops today in like a year that are giant pyramids. We could do that shit back in the day.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. The pyramids were not built by aliens. There's just no way. There's just no way.
They were built by slaves.
I almost had a gut reaction to cheer and clap. I don't know why. That is like I was like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but that's not funny. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
No, we're not.
We
We're
should
not doing
we
that.
should pivot it. There's things instead of like aliens. What NASA has revealed here is UAVs, I believe it's called.
It's UFOs.
UFOs?
UAP. UAPs. They're called
doing what?
That's what I was
unidentified
gonna say.
anomalous phenomena.
Okay.
And so that's what they call them instead of aliens because, well, we have a name for them here on Earth. So we can't call the aliens in space the same ones as the aliens. I can't continue this joke. But
Why is
what
this
do
the
you
most
think about
racist
those?
episode?
it's a
because
conspiracy
we're three
theory
white
episode.
guys. We're three white guys on a
Yeah.
podcast. Oh. All right, I've got a good one here. Aliens being real in general. Do we really think aliens are real in general? Just all together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Why do we think that?
I think
Uh,
with how big the universe is, it's statistically impossible to think that Earth is the only civilization that could have existed ever.
I would agree.
The problem with that thinking is that currently, so we debunked religion because like there's Joey debunks religion because there's just no evidence. It's just too out there. But there's
Mhm.
also currently no confirmed evidence there's no confirmed evidence of aliens whatsoever. None.
Right.
Even the
Well,
stuff we
that you
see in the
also gotta
media,
think.
they just say
You gotta
it's
think
just not true.
how big is the galaxy, right? Or
Infinite.
not the galaxy. How big is space?
Infinite.
Infinite, right? So for what some scientists estimate the universe could be that has actually had time to develop, they have said basically, for us, if Earth is our home, what we have explored has been maybe to our driveway.
Yeah.
So if you think you could find another person in real life, like just walking to your driveway, like sitting on your driveway, you might, but you also got to think about the time that has passed, right? It's been billions of years. A civilization could have been like we've only been around for like like a million, not even.
A couple milli.
No, a couple billion.
Yeah, and the amount of time that during that time that we've been able to reach out and go to space has been about a couple decades. So in a cosmic scale, that is tiny. So I think
Wait.
aliens could be real. They just might be far off, or they could have already died off already.
Hmm.
The odds.
The odds of two, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. There's hi Joey,
Welcome back,
welcome
Joey.
back, Joey. Joey got out of the
Hello.
nocturnal. Congratulations. The one theory I heard against that is the fact that how humans have evolved. Like we've confirmed that there has been life on other planets at other points. Like this.
Have we?
Yeah, like there's been water on other planets. There's evidence to support that life existed on Mars at one point.
Right.
Um so if that's the case, where did it go? How intelligent was it? What did it look like? We don't know. And the answer to I believe how intelligent things are, I think the way humans evolved is it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly for anyone to gain consciousness and create civilizations like this. Like think about like the next closest species for brain size to body size. It's ants. It's ants,
Mhm.
dude. It's fucking ants. That is the next.
Yeah. Have you seen those guys work? They're fucking
They
ballers,
are the
dude.
only
They are
other
crazy.
species to wage war on other colonies. And that's it.
Yeah, and they also know how to unionize. That's awesome.
They know how to unionize.
Unionized workers right there. All they needed was 55%.
No. Get those guys. I hate ants. The point I'm trying to make here is that there's so many species, so many animals. Like let's say humans didn't exist on Earth and we are just another goo goo gaga silly walrus or silly baboon. Um I think that's more likely than humans gaining the ability to I'm not going to say the word conscious because I think all animals are conscious. Um it's more of the fact that we were able to create, expand and adapt. Right? Like
Right.
you can't throw an ape in the Arctic and expect it to survive. You can't throw an ant in the Arctic to expect it to survive. But you could throw a human in the Arctic and it will find a way.
Mhm. Not
Those
always,
fuckers
but
are gonna die. Have you
if you
seen the people on Mount Everest?
if you throw enough people at a brick wall, eventually they're gonna bust through, right?
That's what I'm
Eventually
saying.
they'll
So
Humans
stick.
have that ability. That's the one thing that sets us apart from animals is that we adapt to our surroundings eventually.
mm,
That's why humans have spread
eventually,
across the
yes.
entire world. We live in Antarctica where there is literally nothing but snow and fish maybe. I think that's an astronomical event. Do aliens exist? Maybe they're out there. Like maybe.
They're out there. I don't think any stories about like abductions
No,
or
those
touchdowns or crop circles. I feel like those are all just for clout.
yeah.
They're aura farming at that point.
We're farming. Like that guy that came out, what was it, during COVID to say that aliens are real. I think he was aura farming.
Yeah. Like I think
Uh,
they're real. Just why would they even bother with us too? Because you gotta think like a lot of people think like, oh, aliens are like this super advanced species. If they're like 5% smarter than us, like we're 5%
yeah,
smarter than chimps, right? So basically, if we gave them like Stephen Hawking when he was still alive, rest in peace, uh, and we're like, this is our smartest human, and they were like 5% smarter than us, he'd be like, oh, this guy's like a toddler to us.
that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. That's what I was gonna bring that up
That
too.
is, I was quoting him, yes.
Yeah, that's that.
I would.
There's just if there is a smarter being, they are so much smarter than we can even imagine. Like,
I'm fighting both of you on this. I'm gonna be the
Oh,
anti to both of this because I don't think a lot of what you said is correct. Because I'm a firm believer that they're there. And not maybe that they're watching or whatever, just that we are such an either an inferior species, like we're a monkey that they just don't care to mess with, or something along that lines. Because why would they? What is our purpose
That's
to
yeah,
that?
that's what we were arguing that too, is if they did exist, they just do
But
not
Joey,
care.
so do you think of that the abductions and crop circles are all real?
No, I don't think those are real. I
Okay,
think
so
So
what's
you think
real is
that,
people
but
need
you
to
do
band
think that,
together, stop arguing, and go to space. But
so you do think aliens are real? So what are you fighting on us on?
I was fighting on the whole. It just sounded like Emmett was very hard denying that they were out there for something, and
I'm
then
not
He did
hard
not
denying.
at
I'm
all.
not hard denying, I'm soft denying. If an alien
okay.
showed up in my house and went like this to you, or to me, he goes like this, and he gives me the big middle finger, I'm gonna say, my bad, I thought you were fake. But currently I
I mean, if
just
I gave you like a little blue pill, can I make that soft disbelief into a hard disbelief?
the honey pack, gang, take the honey pack. Maybe. Get me drunk. Give me a couple beers first. So I think aliens just don't exist, or if they do, we cannot imagine them. So if anyone says I've seen an alien and they look like this, then you haven't seen one. You just haven't. They are so beyond what we can imagine. Like, try and imagine Infinite right
At that
now.
point, you're basically just thinking they're God.
They're
Like
not
we're
God.
saying
They're
that
not
Yeah,
they're
God.
you're like equating
what
them to God. Like they would have a physical form, and you can describe
yeah.
it.
You can
Yeah,
describe
they
a physical form. Like you're describing them like angels, where they're a fifth dimensional being. We're just saying that they're super
Mhm.
smart. Like what you're saying is basically when a dog looks at us, we are the angel Michael, thousands of eyes. That
Gabriel
I
came
can't
down and
describe it.
told me
Yeah,
to name him Jesus.
that's
Ah,
basically what you're saying. Angels would, aliens would be to us, which is just kind of wrong. They'd
maybe
have a physical form.
maybe you're right.
Everything,
Maybe you're right.
anything in the third dimension has to have a physical form,
But
right?
what if we're the only creature to see in the third dimension? What if we are?
Do you have a cat?
No, like what I'm saying, like what if cats can see in the third? Can you talk to a cat? Maybe they can see
Talk
more.
to him.
Talk to him.
You can. You can talk to them via like you can talk to a lot of animals via body language. You play D&D. You're able to
Yeah,
talk to
but
bears through
D&D is
body
a
language.
human game. It's a human game. I'm trying to say, like, if aliens existed, there is no possible way that we could even imagine them. Like, could you see them and describe them? Maybe, possibly. I'm not gonna say they're angels that you can't comprehend. Because can you you could see them, I guess.
So you could describe them. Is
It's
basically what we're
more
saying.
of the
Like,
sense that if anyone says I've seen an alien and they did this to me, if an alien came and got me, I'd have no
okay,
idea what's going on. I could not tell you a single thing. They're like, maybe they don't even
okay,
speak. We do not know. Your
okay.
human
I see
mind
what you're
is
saying now.
human brains are so limited, right? Like, try and imagine the number, try and imagine 1 billion ants.
Done.
Okay. Now imagine them one
Another
by one
please.
lined up in a row. What does it look like? You
A
It'd
can
be like
lot
a
of
long
imagine.
fucking
ants.
line.
Yeah, but
A lot of
a lot of
ants.
ants. That's all your brain can think is a lot of ants.
Emmett, have you thought that you might just be dumb?
You can't imagine a billion. It's too
Yes, I
big of a
can.
Could.
number.
You can.
Then imagine a
It's
billion
called
ants and start counting them. I want to hear you count
All
them
right.
out loud.
that.
Another.
That's just me counting
Done.
to a billion.
I'm
Another.
saying this. Can you comprehend a
Another one.
billion? Yes, I can know a billion.
Another
I
one.
know a billion exists, but
Another
can I
one.
actually
Another one.
understand a billion?
Another one.
Like in a math sense, yes. In a speaking sense, yes. But I
I would
cannot
say
think.
if you wanted to make this point, a better number to pick would be infinity,
I said infinity
not a
earlier.
billion.
I
You said a billion.
Do you guys know
You
how
said
big a
billion.
billion is? Do you know how
Yeah, a
big a billion
billion.
That's a
is?
lot of
There's
The
ants.
there's
fact
That's a
that
8
lot
you're
of
billion
ants.
people on this planet,
Can
and
you
we could all fit
imagine
in the
them
state of New
all?
York, shoulder to shoulder.
Can you imagine them all?
I'd rather not, because women scare me, and that's
Women
like
scare
50%
me.
of them.
Ah, I'm
Yes,
imagining
I
women.
can. Now again.
No, I think
So
it's
I think
just
we're getting off topic here. You're just
I'm
being
trying to
crazy.
say that if aliens existed, there's no way we could know. They are so
We
far
could.
beyond. They're so
Yes,
far
we
beyond.
could. Or
Listen,
they could be
listen.
so far
Aliens
behind.
aliens don't need to be like super intelligent beings. They could be on like the same playing field as us or even below it in some standards, right? So you can comprehend them. You're just viewing them as like an omnipresent higher intelligence.
You're
Aliens
only
don't
assuming
need to
that
be
if
there.
aliens were to exist, they would be a higher intelligence.
Well, the only way for us to know they exist is if they find us first, meaning they are smarter.
No, not at all. We could find them eventually.
Eventually,
Just
yeah,
not
we
this,
could, but
not in
then
this
they're not
century.
smarter, and
Tomorrow.
they haven't left their planet. Meaning, yes, they
So
are
that's our
technically
entire
they're
point.
technically aliens, right? But we won't.
Aliens is anything that's off our planet.
I
Any living creature
guess-
off our planet counts as an alien.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of them as.
If there's a
like-
fucking pig on Mars, that's an alien pig.
Yeah, but I guess so. Yeah, we'd have to just keep looking. We just have to keep looking.
Yeah.
It has to
Aliens
be
also
aliens.
count-
Yes, there has to be aliens. There has to be, right?
Aliens
There
also
has to be.
count as what NASA published during COVID, which was the UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, right? And that's like
Mhm.
weird stuff that you can't explain happened, like just this random purple cube that tries to go towards Loot Lake, right? You just can't explain it.
Oh my god.
But genuinely, stuff like that does happen in life. There are strange things that you just straight up can't explain, and then they disappear 1 minute later. So those
Mhm.
also count as aliens, but NASA classifies them as UAPs, and I kind of like to do that too, because aliens kind of refers to as a life form. Maybe these
Mhm.
things are different than a life form, but still conscious.
So how I
Yeah.
imagined aliens
I
is that like there's
don't know
like
if those are real.
the creatures that live on planets, which yes, they're technically aliens. I was more classifying aliens as like the Planet 51 movie. Like they have spaceships, they can show up, they can like I imagined aliens
that's-
coming to Earth.
That's what you imagine aliens as, but like you also gotta think, we're not discussing if they're smarter than us. We're discussing if they exist at all.
Yeah, I think currently the evidence we have has to support that we're not the only planet with life, or at least has life currently on it, because we know planets had
Yeah.
life at some point.
Yeah, the Voyager 2 drone has found way too many planets that are habitable for one of them not to have like it is possible for one of them not to spawn life, but eventually for the small stretch of the universe that Voyager 2 drone has flown. For the amount of habitable planets it has found, it is very unlikely that there's in the entire universe there's not one planet that has any type of life on it, even if it's like a brain-eating amoeba that's starving.
That's an alien. That's an alien. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I am converted over to aliens exist. I just imagine
We convert them. Let's go.
converted them. I just
Emmett's
imagined
trans.
as aliens existing as like the ones that show up and abduct people and like, which those just aren't real. Those just aren't real. They're just
No,
No,
those aren't
no.
real.
They're just pop fiction. What's it?
Mhm.
We don't have too much time left, but I think
No.
this is a perfect time to segue into my final topic that I wanted to bring onto it. Death. Death is a really big conspiracy theory because nobody knows what happens after it. Everything is a
Oh.
conspiracy because you don't know what happens after it. People can come back for it, but did they die? No, they're alive still. What do you guys think the afterlife is? And is there one?
Yeah, if I were to believe in religion, if I'm a religion believer, and afterlife were to happen, I don't believe in a hell personally,
It doesn't say
or
it in the Bible.
not the hell that's described. Because the
Okay.
thing is, if hell were to be real, then God is not ever loving. Because if a God truly loves every single one of his creatures, there's no way I could ever think that someone who truly loves you would put you into eternal damnation, forever, eternal damnation, suffering for all of anything that's conceivable, because you fucked up 100 years on Earth, right?
Mhm.
If God were to truly love every single one of his creations, as it states in the Bible, I do not believe hell could exist as the way people think it is. I think there could be something temporary, but eventually everyone would have to go to a paradise, because if God were to truly love us, then he could not ever put us into eternal damnation. And that includes some of the worst people alive, like Hitler,
Mm.
right? I think he has a long sentence to serve. I believe it'd be like a jail time. But eventually, I believe he would go to heaven, which is crazy to say, if religion is to be believed. If I'm going the non-religion route, dust to dust, You're
Yeah,
nothing.
but which
It's a
one do
void.
you got? It's
Which one
not
do you
the. It's not
believe?
the.
Yeah,
I'm
which
gonna
one
pick
do
a
you?
path. You can't take both.
Choose your
forks.
own adventure.
Yeah, but you got to choose one. You can't say
I'm
if
on
I
my
were to
deathbed.
choose. You have to choose
I'm on my
one.
deathbed thinking, damn, heaven ain't looking too good this time of year. I want to be dust.
I hear it's snow. I hear that it's raining in heaven for like the next week. I guess I'll die. It's not worth it.
I think
Dust.
it's a void. I don't think you go anywhere. But there's no way to prove
Really?
it, right? People always say like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I saw God and I got sent back." That could just be like confirmation bias type of thing. You hear about it. There's never been a person who has never heard anything about religion, died, saw someone, and then came back.
Yeah, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
There has been
A lot.
a
There's
lot
been
of
a
people
lot.
Who
see
has never heard about religion?
a lot of people who aren't religious when they died. They say that they were able to see their own body. They're like a spirit who was able to see their own body, and then when they came back to life. They watched it
Okay,
happen. They say they watched
but
them
like
be
a
resuscitated.
lot of the time the brain tries to make sense of something, right? Out of body experiences, I don't know if I believe in that either because like there's a way we could test that, right? Like if we put a piece of paper up on a shelf
Another Neil deGrasse
and
Tyson quote. Yes.
basically, yes, I love the guy. I'd suck his cock if he was here.
I don't
But
think he would.
anyway,
I don't think he would appreciate that.
No.
but yeah, if we get a piece of paper, write something on it, someone and put them into like every single hospital room, and we tell them all, hey, if you die and have an out of body experience, look at this and tell me what it says. And if they can do that, then yeah, that's real. We just don't have. The mind tries to make sense of a lot of things, and in that moment when you're dying, it's trying to figure out anything that it can. So giving you that out of body experience is just being like, here's what's happening. So I don't think that kind of stuff like where would your soul go, right?
So
Like
here's my
eh.
line of thinking. You're denying. I'm not saying I'm religious. You're denying the fact that people can't die and go to somewhere else because there's not enough evidence. But the water car, the water car. You're like, I know there's no evidence to support my claim, but
No, what I've been
Zero.
saying is if there's someone out there who could gain from someone dying and the gain is worth billions if not trillions, that person's dying.
is finding out if there's an
If there was a
afterlife.
10% chance that he could figure that shit out, you kill the motherfucker 100% of the time.
I don't know. Again, there's no evidence to support that water car, and there's no evidence to support the afterlife that we know of, other than people who have died and said they've came back to life and saw the pearly white gates. They've seen it all. There's evidence. It's just
I
it's
think the brain can
denied.
just make shit up a lot of the time. I think you go to a blank void, like nothing happens. When you
Could
die,
be.
you die. Nothing.
Emmett, I want to hear yours.
I think religion is healthy and good. I personally believe that when I die, the only thing that's kind of left is the legacy I left behind, whether good or bad. When I'm on my deathbed, I want to be able to say I was happy with my life and I'm a happy person. Not because I know I'm going somewhere else or that I can watch over my family, but the chess pieces I have set up should allow my memory to live on, if that makes sense. So
Not that you would remember them on your deathbed,
yeah,
though.
that's the thing
Right.
though, is that I think once I'm gone, I'm gone. So like with this small I'm given a shovel in the book of holes, on the book holes where I have to dig and look for treasure, and I just got to keep digging until I find it. I may
Is
leave
that what
behind.
is that what happens after you die?
Yeah, you get sent
You're
to
just
holes.
digging.
You get sent to holes. You have to go live at a camp. A few rattlesnakes show up. Anyways, I think when you die, I kind of agree with Aiden. When you die, it's over. But I'm not a religious person. But I want to restate. I think religion of any kind is good. We keep referencing Christianity. The reason I reference Christianity, I know it's not the only religion, but it's because it's the one I was taught, the one I grew up in a religious household. So that's why I was Christian. I went through all the sacraments. Technically, by law, I am Christian. I'm just missing the marriage one. Joey, do you want to help that?
Help you with the marriage one?
Yeah, then
Sure,
I'm
we
a
can
full
get
Yeah,
Christian.
married.
okay.
Yeah, me and you
I'm an
both.
ordained pastor. I got this.
Yeah.
Joey, what do you think? What
Next
happens
episode,
when
me and Emma get married.
you die?
What I think happens when I die is I believe everybody's got a soul to them. Everybody's soul shines in different little colors. And I believe after everything is said and done and you leave this little moral coral behind, you go up there and you're just kind of floating like Victor in Arcane. And that's like the visualization to it.
You
It
know
sounds
it's
stupid as
it's
piss.
good when you have to say what happens in something that came out a year ago. Like I think this is what happens. That's just
I
recently.
saw this the other
No,
day and I
that
really
it
liked
was.
it.
I couldn't explain like the full cosmic out of body type stuff without referencing Victor because it's the easiest thing to draw from. Because yes, recent media, and I don't know. I didn't think Mr.
Fair.
Kennis would understand it if
Fair.
I didn't.
Uh,
I have to do that every
I'm
episode.
a smart boy.
You are a smart boy. You're
One
smarter
smart
than
cookie.
Emmett.
Ranking white people
Uh,
sayings next episode. You're one smart cookie. That's a good
That's
one.
a banger. That's a banger.
Terrible.
Joey, continue.
But I think it's like an out of body cosmic experience, and I think you can wait up there. You can meet the people that were like that you've lost in your life and everything like that, and mix and mingle with their souls and everything. And you can watch over people. I think it's a very cool thing, and you just get to watch over. And once everybody comes back, you're mixed mingled, you're ready, you've said hi to everybody that you've wanted to. Then you're like, dang guys, want to roll up squads again and go back for round 2 and
Oh, so
just
you believe in
go back
reincarnation?
in that. Oh, I believe in both. I believe in you get to watch over people and stay up there as long as you would like. You get to sift through their memories that they've had from their points of view through their life or their lifetimes and everything like that. And then you get your reboot card and you fucking go back down there and you just reincarnate into what you want.
I kind of gotta agree with like the human emotion is so strong. Could it just be biological? Yeah, I kind of gotta agree with Joey. I don't believe in an afterlife, but I can understand this train of thought. I find it interesting. I want to leave this point with you guys. People who have experienced more or recent, I want to state recent, death of people who they are closer to have a different perception of death than someone who hasn't experienced it recently or at all. And I think
Mhm.
that's a big point is that losing what Aiden said earlier, the brain tries to make sense of things when dealing with difficult times, difficult emotions. And I think that having perceptions of death during difficult times allows the body to continue. Whether it's true or not, I don't think we'll ever know. But it's important to have these thoughts and know that whatever you choose, whether you turn to dust and blow away, what will you have after 500 years? Whether that's true or that you do reincarnate or that you do go to heaven or that you have 7 virgin women waiting for you. Whatever you believe in, I think is normal and good. I think it's healthy, normal, and good.
I think it is in human nature as well to hope for something more after death, because it's very hard to accept that this is what we're here for, and after that there's nothing. A lot of people don't like that line of thinking, so it's very much in human nature. That's why I think religion, in the first place, there's so many of them, because you always think there's something greater, there's something more.
Obviously, I haven't had tough enough times because I do not believe in religion. Man, I need an Emmett Willems L real soon to get my ass back in the Christian line of thinking.
Putting a bomb in your car, have
Putting a
fun.
bomb in my car, lose my loved ones, and then maybe I'll be religious.
Yeah.
Aiden, you're
Just
so
just
close.
like
You
Joe.
look like you're gonna give the viewers a smooch
Here, I got
goodbye
that too.
for the
I
end of
was
this
going to. I was
podcast.
about to say, getting ready. To end it off here. I think it's a good place to end it. Thank you all for listening so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and like. If you got some conspiracy theories that you personally believe in, put them down in the comments. If you think that we're idiots for any of our points, let us know. And Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Goodbye,
Ah,
everyone. Ranking white people
mwah.
sayings next episode. We did. Oh.